Which Vortex is best? Let's look at the Vortex ZG65 right here on the left and the Vortex V22 here on the right. Now let's talk about the things that I like about what Vortex does for its customers. Okay, right out of the box, both come with charger and brick, so you don't have to buy those. Most companies are offering that, but where Vortex steps up above and beyond is that they provide a basic cover for both phones, or any Vortex phone, and a glass shield. A glass shield is already installed in the ZG65, and that's two things that I like right out of the box from Vortex. All right, now let's get into the physical appearance of the phone. So with the ZG65, obviously you get a way bigger screen, 6.5 inch and 6-inch screen. And they call this HD Plus, 720 by 1560 and 720 by 1600. The resolution is about the same. A little bit later we'll scroll through some of the shorts on YouTube to see what it's like. I like the design of both of these phones. They're cool. This one just feels hefty. This one is rounded, feels good in your hand. So as far as the aesthetics and the appearance, they're both cool. They look like modern phones. I don't think there's a battle there between one being better than the other. Now, your personal preference as far as size, I mean, some people still prefer smaller size. I do, because I'm in the recycling business. I see a lot of bigger phones that people put in their back pocket, and they end up sitting on them, and so their phones get curved like that, and essentially leads to them breaking, a lot sooner than they would otherwise. So there we go on the so that one's your preference. What's it look like? So let's get into the guts of the phone, which is the processor. So on the ZG65, they call it a quad-core processor. I think it's around 1.5 gigahertz. Same here on the V22 quad-core processor. That's standard. I mean, they're not good. They're not performance phones. They're not going to run as fast as an iPhone, a new iPhone or a new Samsung Galaxy. They're adequate. So not that big a deal. I think they both come. Let's see, on this side, on the ZG65, we're getting 3 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gigabytes of ROM. Oh, where are we looking here? I missed it. I don't have it on here. We'll look that up later. Actually, I'm going to pause and look that up. I think it's the same. I think it's, you can see here, it's 32 gigabytes storage. I think the RAM is the same, 2 or 3. It really doesn't make that big of a difference. Let's move on to the camera. The camera, to me, is a big differentiator. On the V22, 2 megapixel and 5 megapixel, and then on the ZG, 5 and 8. I mean, to me, 5 and 8 is barely a good picture anymore, with some of the phones with way higher megapixels. On this side, it's just, I think it's inadequate. 2 megapixel and 5 megapixel. I think you're at the point where it's like it's potato quality unless you are an expert photographer. But then if you're an expert photographer, you're not going to want a camera that only has 2 or 5 megapixels. So to me, the big detractor on the V22 is that the camera is very weak on this one, and then the camera on the ZG65 is just barely adequate. So let's move on to Android. So on the ZG, you get Android 13 Go edition, and the Vortex V22 is only Android 11. So that's going to give you quite a few more options with how your apps will work and how your phone works and how modern your phone feels with the ZG65, not so much on the Vortex V22. Let's see what else we can talk about. Battery life, 3,800 milliamp hours on this side, and then 3,000 milliamp hours. So you're going to get a little more battery life on the ZG65 than you will with the Vortex. And other than that, I mean, let's jump into YouTube and just see the difference in the playback. I don't fault it for not immediately connecting to the internet. I'm going to pause to make sure we get a connection on this side. I'm going to turn that down so we don't get All right, so the feel of the phone, it feels like they're about the same. They're about the same play. If you're someone that watches a lot of shorts, as you can tell here, you know, swipe up, and it's fairly standard. It's not a performance phone where you are looking for, you know, absolute top of the line speed and snappiness to your phone. Although there are a few things. If you watch a little bit later, I'll put a video up here for the ZG65 to some tips to help you speed up your phone, and that will help your ZG65 play a little bit faster for you. So let's review. So both phones come with a case and protective shield and chargers, which is all great. Oh, the other thing I like about both of the phones, well, the Vortex brand in general, is that the backs are plastic and replaceable, and the batteries are replaceable. So if you ever have a battery issue, you're able to take your battery out and change that up if you need to. So other than that, I mean, if your decision is V22 versus ZG65, if you like the bigger screen, you're going to get a lot more phone with the Android 13, with a better camera, with a little bit bigger battery on the ZG65. But if you just need basic communication, then you're going to be fine with the Vortex V22. And that'll wrap it up. Appreciate you sticking around. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.